Hi, everyone. I am Lauren Concar Sheehey, the Executive Director of the Garden State Film Festival. And joining me today is Heather Brittain O'Scanlan, who is Vice Chair of the Garden State Film Festival, along with
Nancy Menagh,
who is the writer and director of Victim Number 6, which is a fantastic, amazing short film, but I am very scared of your mind, knowing that you wrote this.
So, sorry, what was your question, Lauren? Everybody always starts with, you're so sick and twisted. What is going on in your head?
Like, how did this come to be?
Okay, well, so it actually sort of started because Heather reached out to me. She had lunch with Russ, who may be popping in, I think, to the conversation.
Kind of newborn-ish.
Yeah. So they had met for lunch, and I got a text from Heather. All this I don't really know yet, but she's like, I just met up with Russ, and we want to be in something together, but we don't have any material. Like, do you have anything you're working on? And at the time, like I didn't have anything new, and I was sort of like, well, I don't, but let me see if I can like brainstorm something here. And working off of just male character, female character, like the types of relationships that can kind of come out of that pair up. I was like, all right, why don't we try and set it in the 70s? We can have a serial killer on the loose. And, I've sort of always fallen into that dramatic thriller box a little bit. So, it kind of just progressed from there.
And when she said 70s, I'm like, okay, so like I can have Farrah hair. Mm-hmm. And I was in, like, no matter what she wrote, I was going to be.
I didn't want the Farrah hair to go away. I was a big fan.
It was so, I would say from almost the conception of the story was like, we're going to give you Farrah Fawcett hair. And Russ, whose character is Mark, we're like giving you the shag, we're giving you the porn stash. We're like going all out with sort of the vibe of it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It was fun. The hair. Oh, good. Russ is signing up.
Hey.
Hey, guys.
Hey. We were just talking about your hair and mustache for the film.
Oh, yeah, it's all gone.
Amazing. But we have the trailer. We can play the trailer to show everyone what we're talking about.
Oh, we can.
Pretty heavy stuff. I heard that by the time he's done with them, there's hardly anything left. No body parts, just bags of sludge. I've seen the pictures. It's hard to imagine a person could be capable of such a thing. You gotta have a strong constitution to go through with something that brutal. And who might you be?
Donna.
I've never seen you before. I think I would remember. Let's just talk.
You're not my type.
Well, maybe I could be. What's your type?
Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, gosh, that was so fun to work on. It was like almost 2 years ago now that we shot it.
Gosh.
And then we finished production, and then COVID hit. So we pretty much sat on that for a year, and we're just now starting with festivals. We premiered at the Beaufort Film Festival, and Nancy got to go last month, which
it was great. It was a wonderful festival. Very well run, obviously a bit of a trek, but it was important. I felt
like live, like audience was in the theater, and you said that the audience reacted pretty well. So
we got some good reaction to it. It was a really good turnout. All things considered, with this period of time, and I mean, it was fun for me to finally see it on the big screen after. You wait a year, you put a lot of time into it. Like it was like, I think important to go down, be there for it. But obviously sad that not everybody, who participated could be there for this as well. But hopefully
we'll have some more.
Yeah.
I will be there, obviously.
Yeah.
March 27th at 8 p.m. both virtually at
and
gsff.org and live
in
at the
person.
Asbury Lanes, live and in person with live in person Q&A after. We have
Yeah.
some other great films in our block. It should be pretty exciting.
And dear the world, we are live in person. People aren't like getting that wrapped around their minds that we are live in person at 5 venues and virtual in 4. Total of 9 venues, 6 days, 300 films. So come on down to Asbury Park, New Jersey, and the 23rd we start off at Cranford. But Russ and Heather, like I know Heather's experience of tapping into the character. I mean, what was it like for you, Russ, of getting...
First of all, just off the trailer, I've gotten so many text messages from filmmakers saying, "You're the killer, right? I mean, you're the killer."
Maybe we don't know.
And I guess I'm just I guess I just get that.
It's the stash.
That vibe off.
It was the murderous porn stash.
Yeah. So, it's amazing. It's amazing what it's going to be. I can't wait for those filmmakers to see it. It's very cool. But getting into that character, I loved it, man. I loved it. I hope we can do it again.
It was such a good feeling. And the art design, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, James Bartol was our production designer, and we courted him. We were like, oh, we really hope he'll work with us, because his work is just impeccable, as you can see if you've seen the film and through that trailer alone. But we were so excited when James signed on to work with us. And then
well, actually, because I had messaged with James for As It Seems, which Heather was in as well. What film prior to this one, I had written him at the time, because he's sort of known for doing more period pieces. So that was also a period piece. And I was like, I had reached out, but through Facebook, I was younger or whatever, he was not as responsive. So now I'm like, James, I really, really want to work with you. We've got an NYU connection. And so we met. It was just, really ideal timing to have him come in and work. And obviously his work speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And he transformed your apartment into my 1975 apartment.
But also the newsstand,
think
of how fast that happened. And he did it not with nothing, but he built it from scratch. Unbelievable. And Lauren.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And our location at the Honeywell was just fantastic. Man. Nancy gets credit for finding that one. That was like, oh my God.
But also unbelievable in the tight spaces that there kind of was, getting all of the different angles and shots that Spike was able to deliver. It's just, oh my gosh. I can't wait for everybody to see it finally.
I know. I'm so excited. It was really quite a production. And then the hair and makeup too. I do feel like my hair upstaged my performance, but I'm okay with that because it was really great hair. Amina Mitchell was amazing at that, and then Marlene Rosenberg was our makeup key makeup person, and the costumes, Amanda Carmona, and the wardrobe. Oh my God! Everyone, down to every single extra we had. It was amazing. Just a great team, a really true collaborative effort.
A nice film family.
Yeah. It's important, I think, when you're working on especially smaller productions, it's important that everybody get along and have mutual respect. And, if one person's if there's a problem, everybody kind of knows about it. So it's extra important everybody feel respected. And it doesn't always happen, or it's not always a perfect world, but at least with this, I'm very proud. We knew everybody, or, had a personal connection, with Amanda, who did the costumes. Spike had worked with her previously. So even though Heather and I had not, we've got that sort of vouching for somebody, which is important, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going on that, it's important. I always say there has to be trust within, whether if it's a commercial or if it's a feature film or short, you have to have that level of trust with each crew member, especially as a director. You have to just
know that you can delegate and trust your team.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that also knowing that, for them, it's important that they know I believe in their vision as well. It's kind of a two-way street of everyone's got to listen. It's if I could do everything by myself, then I would be doing it by myself, but I can't. So understanding where your limitations are, trusting the people that you're working with, and trusting that everybody else is going to give each other respect too, it makes everything work better. You can't, like, who's going to want to go to work if someone's going to be acting like a jerk in the corner?
Yeah, no.
Not me. I don't want to go work there. So, it's important, like, when you're sort of overseeing that structure, like, if there's a problem, I want to know about it. Like, sometimes people won't come talk to you. Oh, it's the director or something. But, like, no, we all have to talk. We all got to work together. So, but we have such great people who worked on this project.
Awesome. And our cast. I love our cast.
In my mind.
Oh my gosh. Like
Rachel, unbelievable for that part.
She was, you know what? Rachel was a funny story too. I'd taken an acting class with her a couple years prior. I didn't really know her except that we linked up on Facebook after that. But she's just such a specific type that she just always stuck in my mind. And when Nancy wrote the script and I read it for the first time, she just ping popped up out of 2 years later. And I was like, I know who would be perfect for this role. So
it's true. I did get a bunch of headshots from Heather. She's like, these are some people who may fit for these. And with Rachel, it was just, like I could just see that this is somebody who's going to fit into this role of, like, the supporting friend for Donna.
Right. And we have to give a shout out to Lucille.
Yes.
Where would we be without Lucille?
Our unit production manager.
Yeah. I saw something recently that was, I'm sorry, I'm getting a reverb, so I'm distracting myself. But I heard something recently that was like Italian moms on set and talking about, I think it was Martin Scorsese, his mom being on the set for, like, The Godfather, all these films. Not The Godfather, I'm sorry, that's Francis Ford Coppola. But whatever, whatever movies, his mom was on the set as the extra, and I was just thinking immediately of my mom and how Italian moms do it better, and the that they bring to the set. And
my mom was craft services for the last couple of films I produced. It was it's awesome. Great having your mom, like, and dude, they know how to manage a household. Everything. They know that's what they do.
Yeah, master organizer.
Your mom's an attorney, so we had that in our back pocket too. She, like, organized a lot of our permits,
and she's fun.
Helped us score our music, like, as far as getting our music.
Oh, right, the music rights.
The music was a huge part
That's
of
actually
our
something
film.
A lot of filmmakers don't even understand, especially in pre-production and production. They don't really grasp it till the end when they're in post, and they're like, "Oh, what do you mean I have to do that?" Do you want to talk a little bit about that? I mean, you have to really think about it. And going into, I know you and I are always talking about filmmakers, and they have to understand a budget that also includes marketing for festivals and everything in the end. But I feel like the music and stuff like that is always overlooked until it's always, oh yeah, I forgot.
Well, music was definitely something we started talking about right from the beginning. And Vehicle, Nancy played Vehicle for me, which is the song that plays in our credits. So that was in our mind that we wanted to get that no matter what. And that ended up working out. Thank goodness. We used to have a few songs from Bosco and Peck, which they're a more current band, but they have a 70s vibe. So they're playing the background music in our bar. And the scene when I walk in to the bar is another one. The Circus was a band from the 70s from, were they Ohio, Nance?
Yeah, so they were a Cleveland group. So they're a smaller group, sort of indie at that time. But they got popular. This song, I think, might have made sort of the nationwide sort of charts at the time. But yeah, I mean, we didn't know about that song going into production, but we knew we might need to find some additional songs. Heather had the connection to Bosco and Peck, so we knew off the bat what that was going to be, and we knew that. Well, I knew I really wanted Vehicle at the ending, so I had sort of done the research in advance of filming to get a sense of, like, what's this going to cost, and, like, do the sort of reaching out to them, and it worked out. Like, I don't want to jinx anything. It worked out. They were lovely people that we were dealing with. So that was, like, the dream come true that, like, I thought was going to be, like, a lot harder.
Right.
Whether it was a budget thing or, like, just finding the right people to get the right things sort of accomplished. It wound up working out. So that was really pleasant. But Circus was interesting because it was a smaller group. So to find the people who had the rights for it, it was extremely hard. And actually, Facebook wound up being the answer. Dan Hrdlicka, I think I'm pronouncing his name probably incorrectly, and I'm not sure if it's a Czech name, but it very much reminds me of my days when I was in Prague, the name. So I found him on Facebook, and I was like, I had heard your song, and I'm wondering if you'd be interested. We would like to put it in this film we've just been working on. And he loved the idea, and we had a conversation about what it would look like. I sent him, the scene, or I told him about the film so he knew what it was all about. And it was lovely working with him as well. And it worked out great. And I think lends a lot of authenticity to sort of this transition between when the characters are outside and they're walking into the bar and the music's blaring. So
yeah, and it's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Also, all of the sound. I mean, I always say I feel sound, Nancy. I feel like you're kind of similar to me, that you can feel it, not just hear it. So it all, even the trailer.
If the sound's off in a film production, it's wildly distracting for me. I don't know.
You kind of know too, I think, when you're listening to something, if something's not. So I'll be talking sometimes with the sound mixer, and I'm like, I don't know what it is, but there's a twang. I don't even, the language they use. I'm like, there's a sound where it's and sometimes just in the dialogue, they're like, oh yeah, this is what it is, and I can deal with it. But it's always goofy trying to verbalize it.
I love it.
How you doing there, Russ?
I'm a man in a woman's world here.
A smart man.
James Brown wasn't wrong.
You are too. Now you're outnumbered at your house. So Russ is a new daddy.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Got the mug to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And Russ, actually, tell us about the acting classes that you conduct.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I've been doing some acting classes, obviously mainly over Zoom and FaceTime this year. I started a few months before the pandemic hit, so everything was starting in person and then kind of moved online. But a lot of beginners come to me, and we're working on some things to help them with their acting career and with their acting.
That's great. Awesome.
That is awesome. Those are lucky students, smart students.
Thanks, guys.
No, truly. I had wanted to work with Russ for so long, ever since I saw his performance in An Act of War, which, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. You can get that on Amazon. Is that right? Yeah. An Act of War, Russ? Yeah. Your performance in that was just stunningly, achingly, heartbreakingly beautiful. And inspiring. And I think that might have been the first time I'd met you in person. We had some mutual friends. We'd been cast in a film together, but then we didn't do the film. So we kind of knew who each other was. But the first time I met you was after your screening of An Act of War. And I was just like, I want to work with Russ Russo one day. I manifested that.
I heard it. She told me out loud.
It's a true story. It's a true story. That's why we went and had lunch. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm going to do this.
So it was all set up, Russ. You and I have been set up big time by Heather.
I won't apologize for it.
Well, all's well that ends well, right, guys?
And that Nancy connection too. You met Nancy individually and had your separate relationship with her, and I had already worked with Nancy on a previous film.
And I think people don't think about how much overlap there actually is, in these circles. There's so many people that I've met either through a festival or I know of through Heather or Russ or Lauren, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, okay. So there's a lot of overlap in this between New York and New Jersey. I feel like the film universes.
And good synergy too.
For sure.
Yeah. And Philly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we're so thrilled to be playing Victim Number 6 Saturday at the Garden State Film Festival. It's March 27th. What time, Heather?
At 8 p.m.
Where's it playing, Heather?
You can watch it in person at the Asbury Lanes in Asbury Park, New Jersey at 8 p.m. Or if you're not able to make it in person, you can live stream it, also at 8 p.m. at gsff.org.
Right, go there for tickets, and once you purchase your ticket, you will receive, I think it's 8 or 10-digit code that will grant you access to the live stream platform, which, by the way, is custom Garden State Film Festival. We worked with FNS Digital to create our platform in 2020, we're still the only ones that are kicking and still moving and growing. So for 2021, we made it that much better since we had the time, and we're thrilled. So thank you so much, Russ and Nancy. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to see you in Asbury Park, March 27th. Go to gsff.org. See you later.